Welcome back to Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast.
Is it?
I'm your host, Connor, and with me, unfortunately, as always, is my co-host, David.
That's me.
Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8, Bart the Daredevil. Original air date, the 6th of December, 1990. David, you chuckle fuck. What was the plot of the episode? Bart the Daredevil. Give it to me straight. What's the episode about? I'll do the intro again. I'll start again. I'll start French if you can't remember. This is already a full episode, and we're not even 2 minutes in.
I'm aware.
Welcome back to Insert Brain. At any point, if I feel the episode's lagging,
welcome back.
Yeah, we could be in the conclusion of the episode, and I feel like it's falling apart. I'm going to be like, "Welcome back to Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast." Straight back into it. Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8, Bart the Daredevil.
Yes.
David, what was this episode of this show about?
This particular episode was about Bart being a daredevil. No, the synopsis of the episode.
The general plot, just a rundown of the events of the episode.
So, there's this family man, Homer.
God. Truckasaurus.
Yeah, Truckasaurus.
Start at the beginning. I go through to the end.
I don't remember the exact start of the beginning.
Bart is watching wrestling.
That was
Milhouse.
I'm doing it.
Bart is watching. I'm going to do the intro. I'm going to do the little bit.
You could do a little bit that I didn't remember,
and that'll jog your memory. All right.
Right. Good.
So Bart is watching wrestling with Lisa, Milhouse, Richard, and Lewis. I want to say
it's more than I would have gone,
and it's juxtaposed with the fact that at the exact same time, Homer is watching the wrestling at Moe's Tavern with Moe and Barney and Larry and Sam the Barflies, I want to say.
I think so.
Carl and Lenny aren't really at Moe's at this point.
No.
And what happens, David? It's very funny because they're both having similar reactions to the wrestling.
Yeah. So
what happens next?
They're having similar reactions to the wrestling, and then the wrestling finishes, it ends, then comes on the TV simultaneously on obviously the same channel they're watching. So simultaneously comes on the advert for the Truck Fest, the truck show sort of thing that's going on. The Monster Truck Show, that's it. Yeah. And the Truckasaurus Rex, is it Truckasaurus Rex or is it just Truckasaurus?
Yes, Truckasaurus Rex.
Truckasaurus Rex is going to be there and it's doing the very, very American, this is going to be a great show sort of voice.
Sunday.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
At which point they're getting obviously the similar sort of reactions between the two. They're cutting between both of them, Bart and Homer. They both sort of beeline out of their respective areas. Homer gets in his car, drives home as quick as he can. Pretty quick.
It must have been.
Because in that time, Bart has enough time to run out the living room.
Drunk driving as well.
Drunk driving, yes.
Because he was drinking at Moe's.
Yeah.
He'd had a few beers.
Yep.
A couple of duffs. So
he rocks up. They both sort of embrace each other with the whole, yes, this is what we're doing.
Truckasaurus. They both say simultaneously. Like we did.
Having dinner, yes. Cut to the Simpsons having dinner, and he makes an announcement. We tap of the glass. Makes an announcement. Family announcement. This is what we're doing on Saturday.
We're going to see Truckasaurus in the Monster Truck Rally,
Yes.
But oh no.
Why
can't they?
But Lisa brings up the fact that, have you forgotten something? It's my recital on Saturday.
You can be a bit more brief with these recaps.
No.
I just want to point out that in the episodes where I'm doing the recaps, I finished it by now.
Oh, I'm aware. You started it and finished it with... You know what? No, you've got another about 3 minutes. You did a fast recap last episode. And it was like 9 minutes. The 9-minute mark. But that could have been my intros.
Yeah, I was thinking that's also you doing the intros.
Yeah, you probably would have finished it by now. But anyway,
so they go to Lisa's recital on Saturday, but luckily they can go to the Monster Truck Rally afterwards.
As Marge points out, yes, they can. Yes. So they do that. They get a nice wee humorous bit as or bits in the recital about Homer watch checking and frequently basically wanting to leave.
Podcast dog. There's a dog in the room, in the podcast room.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how quick I try and make these recaps.
No, I'll recap the recap.
If I try and push him and jump ahead, he jumps back to fill in gaps that don't need to be filled in.
Yep.
Brief.
Yep.
Podcast dog is unamused.
Yeah, she's not bothered
by your recapping abilities.
No. So they then they're flying along, try to get over to Monster Truck Rally. That's the one. Truckfest. They arrive. There's practically no spaces. They're looking for spaces. They end up inside the arena.
Yes.
They just fucking beeline straight in there. No security, nothing, whatever. Straight in there. Park it up. They end up getting stuck in the mud. And they point out the fact that Monster Truck, the Truckasaurus Rex, is rocking up to their car, about to jump on it and all that kind of stuff. It picks it up, waves it about, crushes it a bit. Cut to
the
Homer.
Car's destroyed and Homer's stuck inside it.
Homer's stuck inside it because you can't open any of the doors, and the biggest exit is the sunroof, and they're trying to drag him out the sunroof.
Does the car usually have a sunroof? I don't feel like it does.
No, I don't think it does.
Maybe it's not a sunroof. Maybe it's that they've cut a hole in the roof of the car.
Maybe it's now what they're going to consider.
Maybe they just ripped a hole in it.
Could have.
But then obviously they're sitting watching the Monster Truck Rally, and they say before the rally begins, which doesn't make any sense because Truckasaurus has already been out and destroyed a car.
Yeah.
We're going to have... Who's coming out, David?
I can't remember his name.
What's his name?
Famous Daredevil.
Can't remember his name. Evel Knievel. It's basically Evel Knievel, but it's legally not Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
Comes out and does a big stunt.
Yep. Announces his big stunt. Fucking everything and their auntie that's deadly inside that pool.
Eels, piranhas, sharks, and a lion.
Yes.
And alligators as well.
Alligators, bone-crushing alligators.
Yes.
So he jumps over that with his bike and then comes back up the ramp
to do a wee
wave at everyone.
And then he falls in. And Bart is like, wow, I'm incredibly impressed. I want to be a daredevil like this guy.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Bart tries to do some stunt, tries to jump Marge's car. Somehow he ends up back the way.
I love the attention to detail that it's Marge's car here and Marge's car that Homer drives at the end of the episode.
Yes.
Because the Simpsons car has been destroyed.
Yeah.
That's a lovely little
it is a nice little detail in there, yeah.
Does it make sense it would be fixed by the next episode because they're talking about getting it repaired, but...
Yeah, and they got a check.
Yeah, to have it repaired.
Yeah, which is presumably not enough to actually fully fix it anyway, but whatever.
No.
Whatever. No. They got a half-emptied bottle of champagne.
Brand champagne.
Yeah. But anyway,
we had champagne when we recorded that previous episode of this podcast.
We did. Yes, we did. We don't have any anymore.
Good.
Yes.
What was next? Bart tries to do a stunt on Marge's car and he
injures himself. The three kids watching, they all scatter. He ends up cuts to the hospital. He's in hospital. Gets some stitches. Comes out. The doctor's trying to dissuade this sort of movie-inspired or TV-inspired violence or stupidity. Yep. And takes him around
shows him
the sort of injury ward.
Shows him a few other kids who've been injured by trying to imitate different movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Superman comics and stuff like that.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
He tries to stunt again anyway, so he just
slightly... Despite promising Dr. Hibbert that he wouldn't, he says, I promise I won't try this again, and he instantly does.
And it cuts straight to him doing almost exactly the same stunt, except this time he clears the car.
Yes.
And
then he clears a swimming pool, and he clears a bunch of dogs, and he clears something else.
Homer.
That's it. He's a real whiz at the Daredevil jumping. It's not a skateboard kind of tricks, this kid.
Then it comes round to they're all coming off the bus at school, and
Bart's a wee bit depressed. He's like, what else can I jump? I've done it all. I'm at the top
it's getting a bit boring, basically, doing all this sort of lame stuff, like just jumping Homer and some dogs and whatever. And that's when it turns out they're on a school trip. Out to the Springfield Gorge.
The famous Springfield Gorge.
That is the one. And he's like, I'm going to jump this. To Otto, I think. So he announces on the speaker on the way back on the sort of bus sound system that he's going to jump the gorge on Saturday at noon.
Yes.
All of you come and watch, basically.
Come and watch me jump this gorge.
Watch me potentially die.
Watch me potentially fall to my crushing death.
That's the one.
Yes.
Obviously Lisa's there, so she hears...
Passes it on to Homer
and Marge about the fact that that's what he was intending on doing.
Homer's furious.
Yes, he is.
But no, incorrect.
Wait,
Incorrect. You have fucked this recap up.
I always fuck every recap.
Lisa takes Bart to see Evel Knievel,
I forgot about that.
Evel Knievel character.
Okay, so
Stuntman character, and he's like, I think that's great, kid. He does this. He signs an autograph for him.
Yeah,
poorly with his mouth because he's broken every bone in his body.
Writes about a paragraph with his mouth, except none of it's fucking legible, obviously.
And he's like, I think that's great. I love seeing future Daredevils. It's great for America.
Yeah.
And that's when Lisa
that's when because obviously that failed.
If you're going to do every single scene in detail, let's not skip around.
I frequently forget that scenes even exist. Let's not skip around. You skipping me ahead and I'm going backwards. Anyway, Marge and Homer are not happy about this. Homer tries to talk him out of it, tries to get him to promise about it.
Yes.
And he's like, that's great. He believes that Bart sincerely promised that was the case. And he's like, I've got a good son up there, and it's like, got a good father.
And he walks past the window.
And you see him skate past the window.
Oh, that's it, yes. He skates past the window. On his way to Springfield Gorge.
Yeah. So
Homer realises that he's left.
Yep.
Bart's at Springfield Gorge.
Guns after him in Marge's car.
Yes, Homer arrives just in time to grab him off his skateboard to stop him from going down Springfield Gorge.
Yep. Realises the only way that he can actually get through to the boy is by doing the stunt or attempting the stunt himself.
Which he will definitely fail and die.
Yes, exactly. And so he does, and he thinks he's going to make it halfway until he doesn't. Fairly gruesome fall all the way down, breaking bones and all sorts of things on the way down.
Gets airlifted out by a helicopter, smashing his head on the rocks.
Into an ambulance, one of the best jokes possibly of the entire episode, I think.
Of the entire show, maybe.
Probably.
The history of The Simpsons.
Into the ambulance drives about 4 feet, hits a tree, the back doors pop open, and he goes back down on the bed, on the ambulance bed, back down the gorge, and then it cuts to them in the hospital. Him next to the Daredevil, where he's like,
you think you're Daredevil, try raising my fucking kids.
Basically, yes.
And then the episode ends.
Yes. And that wasn't too bad.
That was 15 minutes. That was a 10-minute plus recap.
Yeah.
They might as well watch the fucking episode.
Yeah.
David,
they can watch along with my recaps.
Aside from when you forget entire scenes, then you have to fast forward.
Fuck them. They can wait till we remember about it.
David, what did you think of this episode of The Simpsons?
I thought it was great. It's a fucking iconic episode, as you sort of pointed out as well before coming to this episode. That you were really excited to do this episode when you noticed which one it was.
Yeah, I think it's really great.
And when you pointed out to which one it was to me, I remembered pretty much all the episode. Points obviously not, because it's me. I
always forget that Bart the Daredevil episode starts with Truckasaurus. I always think that those are two separate episodes.
Yeah.
And there's
I completely forgot about that part.
I want to say there's a different monster truck episode where Homer wants to be a monster truck driver or some shit like that.
Right. I don't actually remember specifically, but I'm sure it's in another one. I think
what happens is Truckasaurus makes an appearance in that episode.
Right, yeah.
It's like a callback to this, but this is the first appearance, obviously.
Yeah.
It's one of the best jokes in the entire show. I do wish that end scene where Homer's like, you should try raising my kids, that's very outdated. And not outdated in a bad way, just not very funny. I think it's better to end on the strong joke of
him falling back down the gorge. Yeah.
I think in a later episode we would have done that. You have the sounds of Homer falling down the gorge and you just fade to black.
Yes, aye.
And the
the
title
music.
start and you can still hear him like falling down before there's music.
Yes, aye. Yeah, that would definitely be, I think, how they would finish a later episode.
But I love all the Bart stunt things. It's interesting. Generationally, this doesn't really affect us. But the impact that Evel Knievel had in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And that'd be like a generation or two before us.
Yeah.
It was like insane.
Massive.
It was gigantic.
Yeah. It was.
I
think it was
like I would go as far as to say he's like a cultural icon of that era.
I would say so. Yeah, definitely. No, it was really sort of I think one of those episodes that was really relevant, especially at the time when it came out, relevant to the kids, because it's a Simpsons episode and it's a Bart-centric one, which always goes down well.
Yeah, and also relevant to the
adults of those kids.
Yeah,
because that was something that they would have most likely have gone through.
Yeah, you could
a little bit.
You could almost set this episode in the 70s and have it be about young Homer.
Yeah.
And Abe, and I think it would work just as well.
Yeah.
Better, I suppose. I
Possibly,
don't know if stunt... Well, at this point in 1990, I don't think stuntmen were a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of the decade, you had Jackass.
Yeah.
And other like similar stunt people doing crazy shit. And skateboarding became much bigger than it was at this point with your Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and such.
Oh, yeah. God. But, I thought it was a great episode. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk more about that after our next segment. This is Ion Springfield, the segment where I talk about characters who made their first appearance in this episode, and David goes, yes, very good. David, first appearance of Truckasaurus.
That'd be the
giant
dinosaur.
Monster truck dinosaur thing. How would that work in real life? How could you, with the technology of 1990, make and operate a Truckasaurus? So I don't think you could. Or if you did, it couldn't move. It would have to be like a static animatronic.
I think realistically, it would be possible. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think of that time, but I'm certain there have been similar things made.
Oh, since definitely, but I'm talking at the time.
I think the main thing does seem to be there's like a really odd sort of kink in its neck.
Right, yeah.
With a fairly large hydraulic piston by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Based on the drawing down there, controlling the movement of the up and down of the head. But I think other than that, looking maybe a bit on the weak side, I don't think it would actually hold that head. But short of that, I don't think it would be that much of a difficulty. The main thing that would be the problem is what you pointed out there is I don't think the actual whole unit itself would be able to move.
It would be kind of like, when you go to Universal Studios or that kind of theme park, and you have a big dinosaur on their Jurassic Park ride.
Yeah.
And it's really just the head that moves.
Yes.
And it's very limited in its movement. It moves left to right and it can kind of roar. It moves its mouth. I think that would be the extent to which Truckasaurus could move in real life.
I think it would be very much a up and down movement. And I definitely think you'd be able to get the nice flamethrowers out the nostrils.
I don't think he could actually pick up a car in his mouth and toss it around. I think the car would overweigh him and cause him to topple over.
I definitely think it would be a case of it would be able to crush, it would probably come down and crush like the top of the car, but not actually lift it.
To be able to get the bottom of its mouth underneath the car to the chassis as well.
I don't think that would be a possibility.
Yeah. First appearance of Lance Murdock. David, who's Lance Murdock?
You're seeing the non-recognition in my eyes.
That's why I asked. Yes, David, who is Lance Murdock in this episode of The Simpsons, making his first appearance in the show?
Is he the Daredevil?
Yes, he is!
Nice.
Yes, he is. He's a Daredevil. He's the Evel Knievel type character.
Right, yeah.
Yep, I always remember him as just being Evel Knievel.
Yeah,
Or like a guest star, but no, he isn't voiced by Evel Knievel either.
Yeah.
Which is what I always, again, I don't know if it's like an urban legend that he was voiced by Evel Knievel or if it's just kind of an assumption that you make when
you see that kind of person. Yeah.
First appearance, this is a big one.
I'm never getting it.
Dr. Hibbert.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, the Doctor.
Yeah, it's the first appearance of Dr. Hibbert, which is...
That's a big one. That is a big one.
He's a big one. He's still on the show now.
Yeah.
He's one of the select few who has a Lego minifigure.
Yes. Yes, he is.
That's the end of Ion Springfield.
Really? You had a lot more fervor at the start there.
I keep thinking my energy is going to pick up, and it's just going down and down and down. It's late for me. I've been up since like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I've been up for more than 12 hours.
Yeah. Think
of a segment. Do a thing. Say something. Cancel this show.
Please.
We're Lego content creators now.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Once we get this camera sorted, we can do it.
Yes. Yep.
David, it's time for 3 Blind Mice today.
There was 2 things that popped into my head here.
Blind Mice trivia.
There are 2 things that popped into my head that you might have done. One is that, or welcome back to Insert Brain here at Simpsons podcast. Today we're talking about season 2.
We might start again. This is a bad episode. It's very lackluster in energy.
It really is.
Simpsons creator Matt Groening has stated multiple times this is his favourite episode of the show The Simpsons.
Really? Oh, I didn't know it was his favourite, but it is a damn good episode.
It's a lot of people's favourite, and we're not doing it a service here.
We are really not.
He said it also that the scene at the end with Homer falling into the gorge is his favourite scene in the entire show.
That's good.
Simpsons writer Wallace Wolodarski, who's famous for having written more Simpsons episodes than anyone else, has also stated that this is his favourite episode.
Right, nice.
A big hitter.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Lance Murdock's ill-fated leap over the pool of deadly sea creatures and an African lion parodies Evel Knievel's Death Defiers from January 31st, 1977. Evel Knievel sustained severe injuries in a motorcycle practice jump over a swimming pool which was meant to be filled with sharks.
Ah, right.
He didn't even get to the fucking sharks.
Yeah. Yeah.
To promote the album The Simpsons Sing the Blues, which we
are within a ball hair's breadth.
We will be covering that very, very soon.
Yes.
We better have some more energy when we cover that, I tell you.
We will get the energy by listening to that.
The music video for the album's lead single, Do the Bartman, premiered shortly after this episode's first broadcast.
Very good. We are really close.
We are
within the next episode or two of actually.
Well, I have it planned out, David. I know exactly when we're covering Simpsons Sing the Blues. I know
nice. We're
going to cover that. Maybe we'll cover something else if I can figure it out.
Okay.
In the script for the episode, Dr. Hibbert was meant to be what, David?
In the script, what?
That's how intently you listen to 3 Blind Mice trivia.
So hanging off every word. No.
In the script for the episode, Dr. Hibbert was going to be what, David? Something that he isn't in the final episode.
What?
No, a woman named Julia, with Hibbert being her last name through marriage.
I did not know that.
However, when Fox moved The Simpsons to a different time slot in order to compete with NBC's highest rated program, The Cosby Show, the rating staff chose to make Hibbert a parody of a certain comedian's character, Cliff Huxtable.
Okay.
Bart's appearance at the Springfield Gorge in the distance is a reference to a similar shot in the film Lawrence of Arabia.
All right.
I noticed that,
yeah.
What film? The Springfield Elementary Band plays Schubert's Unfinished Symphony and Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture.
Fair enough. So it wasn't even just the one. I didn't actually clock the fact that it was 2 separate pieces.
No, neither did I. But I thought it was just going to be Schubert's Unfinished Symphony.
Yeah. Because that's
I noticed that the music...
Basically the whole... Yeah, I noticed the tone of the music has changed, but that frequently happens over a whole symphony.
Yeah, of course. I noticed that the music that Homer was performing, quote unquote, when he was in the car driving recklessly, wasn't by Schubert. I knew it was by someone else.
Right, yeah. I did wonder why Lisa had said, I finally got through to him.
That's why.
Because obviously that was being performed as well, or a different particular segment of that was being performed by the school.
The Springfield Gorge jump was based on Evel Knievel's 1974 attempt to jump Snake River Canyon in Twin Falls, Idaho.
All right.
That's very nice. Wonder if he made it.
No idea.
Truckasaurus is a parody of the famous truck Robosaurus.
Well, we're getting this fucking answer.
Robosaurus. Let's Google this now.
Yes.
Alright, I'm looking at Robosaurus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is from 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not look as good as Truckasaurus. But it does look alright.
Hold on.
I'll tell you this.
Let me come and have a look. 1 second.
Bring your microphone, man.
It's plugged in.
It'll stretch. It's a small room.
Will it?
Great audio quality. Here's Truckasaurus. Don't move the screen or the computer will stop working. There's
Robosaurus.
Sorry, this is Robosaurus.
Oh yeah. You know what?
Look at the base is very different.
Yeah.
It's got like wheels at the back. Actually, that makes sense how they would move it.
That does. You know what though?
It's picking up that car with its big claw hands.
It is. It set fire at the car, presumably, based on the fact that
it is breathing fire. It's more of a nose of fire.
We never thought about the fact that it might have hands. We were
I
thinking
think the one in the episode does have hands. I think we're just very dumb.
Yeah. That is a really big constructed robot.
I wonder if Robosaurus still exists.
I don't know.
Let's find out. Pad the episode.
But it is actually a lot more impressive than I expected.
Yeah.
Considering it's 1989?
That's when it was built.
Wow.
Well, Robosaurus appeared in the episode You Decide Live of the Disney Channel series Just Roll With It, which aired on October the 4th, 2019.
Wow.
So at the very least, it was still somewhat around in 2019.
Holy shit.
Robosaurus took 2 years and $2.2 million to build.
Wow.
He stands at a height of 40 feet when transformed and fully extended and weighs 31 tons. It is powered by a 500 horsepower turbocharged Cummins diesel engine. 4 hydraulic pumps are used to manipulate the claws, which can exert 24,000 pounds of force.
Jesus.
Fucking hell. It houses 2 20-gallon propane tanks to produce the fire breath effect, and houses air cannons that can be used to fire confetti, fireworks, or missiles.
Fucking hell.
Why? Why can he fire missiles?
It's American. Of course they can fire missiles.
Your giant robot dinosaur needs a gun.
Yeah.
Or it's not American enough.
Exactly.
Similar, there's other machines based on the concept. There's Megasaurus, there's Transaurus, Draco the Dragonator, and Tranzilla. Oh! Truckasaurus appears in the game Simpsons Hit and Run.
Alright.
Oh.
I don't actually remember that.
Does he appear in Hit and Run? Yes, he does. I'm looking at him in the game right now. He also appears in the game Simpsons Tapped Out.
Alright, okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Back to 3 Blind Mice trivia. That's
yeah.
enough about all that Robosaurus nonsense.
That is a lot more impressive a robot than I expected.
Aye.
I think the cartoonized Truckasaurus definitely overall looks a bit cooler. But
bit sleeker, a bit more like a T-Rex.
Yeah. But I definitely think that Robosaurus actually looks pretty dope.
Yes.
I'd be well impressed if I rocked up in I'd probably just be fucking sucking on a dummy at that point. 1992 would be the earliest I could actually go and see it. Wouldn't remember it.
I mean, it's still around now, so you could. As recent as 5 years ago, you could have
it would still be pretty fucking impressive. 40 foot tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Lance Murdock's name is a reference to both Captain H.M. Murdock in the A-Team and Matt Murdock, the alter ego of which superhero, David? Matt Murdock. Who's Matt Murdock in the world of superhero comic books? This isn't even fair. This isn't even a Simpsons thing.
No,
I'm just throwing it to you to keep you engaged.
No, you're just throwing it to me to give me some fucking shit to think about.
Something to say? Who's Matt Murdock? It's not Spider-Man.
I know that.
It's not Batman.
I'm aware.
It's not Professor Xavier.
No, I'm aware of that one.
Who could Matt Murdock be?
Does he have is he just a mister, a doctor, or what?
Neither,
right.
I'll give you a clue. It ties into this episode. Superhero who ties into this episode of The Simpsons in a very specific way.
One of the kids in the hospital.
It's Daredevil.
So fucking is. You know what?
Bart the Daredevil, that's how it ties into the episode. He's Daredevil.
Right. Well, probably not even going to believe any of this, but I had a couple of people swimming around in my head. One of them was Daredevil. He was less in the forefront, to be fair. But one of them that sort of went, woo, this is a possibility, was Daredevil. One of the other ones that came up in my head was, I couldn't remember what the main guy from fucking Fantastic Four was.
That's Reed Richards. He's Mr. Fantastic.
Nah. But I couldn't remember what his name was, and he was the other person that was kind of cutting about in my head going, maybe?
You didn't think maybe Bart the Daredevil and Daredevil had some sort of...
No, clearly not. I didn't think about that part. But yeah.
The Russian wrestler from the intro to the episode, Rasputin, is probably named after Grigory Rasputin. Mm-hmm. The other wrestler, Werner von Braun, is probably named after Werner von Braun.
All right, fair enough.
Fuck knows who that is.
Yeah, presumably both wrestlers, I would imagine.
Well, I think Grigory Rasputin is that not History's Rasputin?
I don't know if that's his first name, is it? Maybe that's why it was the friendly Russian, as opposed to...
Yeah, that's Russian mystic Grigory Rasputin.
Okay, I didn't know that was his first name.
The holy man who was poisoned, shot and drowned and all the rest.
Right, aye.
I have to look up who the other person is now. Werner von Braun. What were you saying there?
Oh, singing the Boney M song.
Oh, can't keep it in, because it'll get copyrighted.
Oh, good point.
Werner von Braun is a German-American rocket scientist.
Okay, neither of them are... wait, what?
I'm going to give you one clue, one guess, one chance, one... Mum Spaghetti. These weak arms are heavy. If I'm on the spit already, Mum Spaghetti. What did this German scientist... What political group was he affiliated with?
Nazis?
Yes!
Oh, fucking Jesus.
And then what country did he move to?
America. You got the Nazi science deal.
Yes, and what corporation did he end up working for?
NASA, most likely.
Yes. Oh, wow, it's like there's a pattern.
Yeah, I know.
Thankfully died in 1977.
All right.
Get fucked. Werner Braun. Helped put man on the moon.
They all fucking did.
When the episode was going to be too short to air, writers Al Jean and Mike Reiss wrote a short film called The Simpsons Nazis on Tap. That's a strange coincidence.
We are fucking...
To pad out the runtime. But after the dialogue was recorded, it was never animated due to series creator Matt Groening deciding that it was too offbeat for the show's second season. The short would have been a parody of American World War II propaganda cartoons set in the 1940s. Audio from the segment was released online by storyboard artist John Mathitt in 2006. Character designer Phil Ortiz adapted the short as a 4-page comic book and handed out copies at Wizard World Philadelphia June 2nd, 2016. A reconstruction was produced in 2022 utilising the aforementioned audio and panels from the comic. I'll show you that now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen this.
I definitely haven't.
I haven't seen this either. Very exciting stuff.
Oh, wow.
That was grand.
Yeah, that's...
If you've ever seen any of the old Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, etc. war era cartoons...
It's very, very fitting in there.
Very, very inspired, kind of lampooning those. That was wonderful. I'm glad we've covered that on this podcast and then we never have to mention it or watch it ever again. I've seen a lot of those old Looney Tunes, specifically Looney Tunes wartime era cartoons about keep your lips sealed, don't spill your nation's secrets, etc. and so forth, and that really captures the feeling of it. It'd be interesting to have seen how they would have animated it at the time in the show. Would they have done it in black and white or made the animation a bit more loosey-goosey? Because that's how animation really was at the time in the 40s.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how they end up finishing that one off.
But this is also early Simpsons, so I don't know if they would have, or if they would have just done it in their normal style.
Maybe, but they do occasionally for like separate scenes or like dream sequences and things like that. They do have a tendency to do like sort of try to pull out all the stops for those particular scenes.
True.
And that's not too long a scene. They probably could have gone down that route.
Maybe. I think they would have at least done it in black and white. I like the inclusion of President Roosevelt and the Joseph Stalin joke at the end. That's really great. I'm trying to think of what Bart is meant to be inspired by.
Isn't there
usually
like
his little crown helm, his little crown hat? That's obviously it's inspired by some other cartoon of the era that looks very familiar, but that I can't quite place.
Yeah.
What did you think of that short, David?
I think it really, you know what, it's believable that it would have come out.
If The Simpsons was an animation that went as far back as 1946.
It's believable that it would have come out at that sort of time.
Yeah.
They did well with that. And I think actually the fact that it is still images really actually kind of helped with that.
Yeah.
The sort of the slight not great audio quality of it did quite help with that too.
Yeah.
But they did kind of capture that quite well. That sort of feel of those wartime cartoons.
Mm.
And they were always, at that particular time as well, they were always really short, like stupidly short.
Yeah, they were.
So it fit like almost perfectly. But I'm kind of glad they didn't include it in this episode.
I don't think it fits the tone of this episode at all.
No, I don't think it does. I think looking back to Evel Knievel sort of character is fine. But
it's all. I think this episode specifically is looking back to something that was popular in the 70s.
Yes.
And to then also have a short that's looking back at something that was popular in the 40s.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's going to detract from the episode. And I'm very glad that they didn't include it. I kind of wish they'd actually finished it.
Yeah.
And put it in a subsequent episode that actually fit.
DVD.
Or something. Oh, yeah, maybe like an extra or something.
Release it as a short on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yep.
This was the second episode to be aired by the BBC in the UK, airing on November 30th, 1996.
I forgot how fucking long it was before we got The Simpsons.
It's like 6 years after it aired in America.
Yeah, and we didn't get the fucking first season for a while, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or it was like...
This is the second episode to be aired.
This is
like the middle of season 2.
Yeah.
This episode indirectly inspired Matt Groening to make Futurama.
All right.
He noticed that the animation was much better on the shot of motorcycle stunt drivers dunking basketballs. Huh?
Yeah, continue.
Oh,
in the ad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And thought that a show with more exciting visuals would inspire better quality animation. Very good. And I think he was right. I think Futurama... So. I mean, to be fair, Futurama didn't start airing until 1999.
Yeah.
But I think it does have better animation than The Simpsons.
Yes, I think so.
At least at the time.
Yeah. I think at the time it probably did, like shot for shot or comparison to the other. But I think that's probably largely down to the fact that The Simpsons has some exciting stuff happening, some sort of really implausible things happening.
Yeah.
But you can only go so far, really.
At this point, you can only go so far.
Yes, well, yeah. At this point, you can only go so far in The Simpsons, whereas Futurama's like a completely different setting.
It's wacky out the gate.
Yes, and therefore you can go really far.
Yeah.
You can go as far as you want, basically. Yep. But yeah, I think that, yeah.
Yeah. The Evel Knievel movie starring George Hamilton was a big inspiration for the episode.
Yes.
Bart's friends running away from him is based on something that happened to the writer's mother as a child.
All right.
Or shot herself and all the other kids scattered. I thought that's a very kid thing to do.
I thought that was very, like I recollected like injuring myself or being the one running while someone else, like, I don't know, tripped and fell in someone's garden that we weren't supposed to be in.
Yeah, or they just fucking skin their knee and start screaming or crying, and you're like,
absolutely fucking like it. Whereas, but the thing is, no one gave a fuck.
No,
you fell, you got abandoned. It was like, sound.
Unless
when you caught up with them again, it was like you just laugh it off and you continue on with whatever the hell you were doing.
It's like unless you're really like knocked unconscious or
something like that. Yeah. At which point, there's usually one person that'll stick around at least.
Yeah.
But you just didn't. It wasn't something that you cared about. I don't think that would be the case today.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a kid.
No, but I reckon it's one of those things that you're having fun. Someone falls over and, I don't know, skins their knee or something today. If the other kids leg it, then it's like...
We have drama now on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Otto's original full name was going to be Otto Mechanic.
Really?
Yeah, that's a stupid name.
Yes, it is.
You know what his full name is?
What?
Otto Man.
Oh, yeah, I think you've told me that before.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
Nancy Cartwright spoke into a megaphone to get the effect of Bart speaking into a microphone on the bus.
That makes sense. It was a good sound.
Yes. One of the only episodes that doesn't have a fade-out ending. Cuts to black.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
That is the end of 3 Blind Mice Trivia.
Come on.
Come on.
You're doing the 3.
That's only at the beginning. It doesn't happen at the end.
It did in the last one.
Not anymore, buddy. Are you ready for another segment? Straight into it?
Are we running straight into another segment?
David, it's time for a more recent segment of the show. It's called David, Who Complained and Why?
Oh.
You tell me who complained and why. I have the answer here in front of me. It's time for you to use your powers of deduction to find out who complained and why.
Parents of the people watching it. Like
no.
Kids watching it.
No.
Americans?
Nope.
Right. Is it demographic?
No.
An individual?
No.
All right. I don't know. Give me a clue. Have you got any clues that you could give me?
Nope, not really.
Perfect.
I'll say this, it's not a religious group either.
Right, okay.
Sitting in contemplation here.
Yeah, aye, nice stuff for a podcast, isn't it?
Nothing says good podcast quality like
fucking silence.
Contemplation.
Yeah. Was it a bunch of racist people about there being a black doctor?
Nope.
Okay. I don't know.
You give up?
Yeah, fuck it, I give up.
Censors fought back against the use of the word ass.
Oh, fucking Jesus.
You forgot about those pesky censors because they haven't reared their heads in a while.
Mm-hmm.
They were around a lot in season 1 though.
Yeah, they were.
That's the end of who complained and why. The censors complained because they suck. They suck.
Ass.
They suck ass.
Yeah.
Same. What are we doing? Are we going to another segment?
Oh, that's all it is. It's just
segments and segments and segments, mate. David, do you have anything for boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder? I don't.
No, I think this episode's borderline flawless.
I would say as well, it's borderline flawless. I would say the ending is a bit weak.
Yeah.
As I already suggested, it could have been fixed, but
I think it's not that bad. I think it just didn't, like you said, age well.
David, it's time for another segment. It's time for David's one bit of animation that he actually quite liked.
Ah, right.
What's your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked, David?
This is actually a bit of a tricky one.
There's no big standout bit of animation like there is in the previous episode with the blame scene, the finger pointing. You know
what? I really liked the scene where Bart was doing the stunt over Marge's car.
The first one where he falls and hits his head?
Both. Because they're like for like scenes. And it's almost... I would have to really kind of study it, but I think it might be just reused animation, the second scene.
Up until he
jumps.
Yeah.
Up until he basically hits the ramp. But I really quite like that sort of like stretch effect to show that he's going really fast, but not the same as say when they was running away from the dogs in one of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
It's not the same. He's just they've taken Bart and stretched Bart because he's moving so much faster than the background.
Yes.
And they haven't blurred the background or anything like that. It's still clear. You can see all that, but they've taken Bart and stretched him a little bit, and it looks really good. I think it looks it's a very good effect, and it made him look like he was going incredibly fast. I thought it was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
If I was to pick a bit of animation I actually quite liked, even though no one's asked and no one will, I would go with Homer jumping the gorge.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That's a great, and I think it's also a bit of animation that they get a lot of use out of because it shows up so often in future episodes.
Yeah. No, that is good. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of another segment
of something I actually liked about this.
It's David's one bit of animation he actually quite liked.
Yes.
Is the show just a shooting gallery of segments now?
Yeah. I think we've gotten to that point. How many episodes are we in now? Total?
Like 20.
Well, that was quick.
It did not take long for us to fuck this podcast.
Royally up.
If you were going to cut one of these segments, you know what? If you're listening to this podcast, write into us and say, what segment do you want to cut?
Yeah. Or
if you were going to discard a segment, what would you discard?
Yeah.
You've got recap, Ion Springfield, 3 blind mice trivia, who complained and why?
Wait, hold on. Can you imagine rocking up into this after we get written in, people wanting to get rid of the recap? Can you imagine writing in and going, welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 8, Bart the Daredevil. Original air date, 6th of December 1990.
Yes, well remembered.
Holy shit.
Fucking hell.
And today we're going to be talking about Ion Springfield.
No, because it goes right into what did you think about the episode?
All right, okay.
Which might be a better...
That might actually be a better intro, never mind.
Fuck it.
Fuck that.
Your options are recap, Ion Springfield, 3 blind mice trivia, who complained and why? Boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder. David's one bit of animation that he actually quite liked. That's it. Then it's just like final thoughts. Those are your things that you can write in and ask us to remove one.
Yeah. Or all of them.
Yeah. Ask us to cancel.
4 minute long podcast. I'm sure I can ramble for longer than 4 minutes.
I feel like it would. Eventually, we're going to cover stuff that we can't recap. And we're going to have to figure out how to talk about things.
Yes.
Not this week, though.
Nope.
David, it's time for another segment. No, it's time for our final thoughts on the episode.
Yes, it is.
10 out of 10 perfect episode.
Yeah, I loved it.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this lands in our overall ranking for those of us who don't know, at the end of this season, when we've covered every episode, we'll do a season ranking where we'll rank all 22 episodes in the season from worst to best. I'm interested in seeing where this ends up. Right now, it's looking like it could have that top spot.
I would say right now it probably hit the top spot. Yeah. I think so. Based on the rest that we've seen so far, I'd say so. But yeah, that'll be an interesting ranking. Yes. Hopefully, I can actually rank them correctly this time instead of on the fly.
We'll see.
Yep.
This has been. I very nearly went. This has been Ion Springfield. This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I've been your host Connor, and with me as always has been my co-host David.
That's me.
We've just covered Season 2, Episode 8, Bart the Daredevil. You can join us next week when we will cover Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge.
Yep.
You can follow us on Instagram on Insert Brain Here Pod or on Twitter at T422. You can also find us on our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. We are on YouTube and Spotify and all other major and minor podcasting platforms. What a show!
What a show indeed.
Smell you later.
Smell you later.
Bad episode overall.
Oh, terrible.